Yes, the number one draft pick in the 2017 draft, Cam Rayner, prepares for his first shot at the ultimate in AFL football, the grand final on Saturday. He's had to get through a knee injury, and in his 112th game of football, he plays in the grand final on the G. Cam, welcome to the show, mate. Great to have you along. Congratulations. It has been an exalted junior career that has had its moments too with injury, but now you get yourself into a grand final. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's been great, mate. Obviously, all those lessons and things you learn along the way, but they all enter and come up to being a great little rise. And it's been so good this year to obviously get to where we are. And as a club where I started at to where we are now is chalk and cheese. So it's really exciting, and we're just looking forward to getting out there on Saturday.
Well, you know what it's like in the big time. You've kicked some big goals along the way in your career so far, but there's a great story in the Herald Sun this morning. I don't know if you've seen it yet, about your time at Duda Stars, a famous football club in the north of Melbourne, of course, where you played in the under-16s, won the premiership, and a couple of weeks later they put you up to the under-18s, where you kicked 8, including 5 in the last quarter as a 15-year-old, mate. You know how to do it on the big stage, don't you?
Yeah, that was good. I've seen that floating around today. I think Mum and Dad took it out and put it in the scrapbook, which was good. So, that was awesome, mate. Obviously loved playing football back down in the Essendon District Football League, and yeah, that's a special day that my family remembers quite fondly.
Good on you, mate. You won 6 best and fairest in your junior career, and as you said, you're out in the Essendon District League, and I understand you're a mad bomber, and you loved a bloke by the name of Matthew Lloyd. Was he your idol?
Yeah, he was. He was my idol. Used to pull the socks up and throw the grass in the air like everyone did. So, that was awesome, mate. Obviously, and then being at Pegs and spending a bit of time with Dustin Fletcher as well, which was awesome. And now getting the chance to play with Joey Danaher, so it's all worked out pretty well.
Well, Cam, here you go. Who would have thought, mate, that basically a couple of days before you're playing your first grand final, you're going to be asked a question by your idol, Matthew Lloyd.
Fantastic, Cam. I've loved following your career as well, coming from Essendon Grammar. You mentioned there before, chalk and cheese, the club you walked into to the club you're with now. Talk us through what you walked into and the professional club you're now with.
Yeah, Lordy, I guess when we first got there, and I think Fags was there a year before I did, it was just a young group that didn't really have much experience at all. We brought in Hodgie, and I think he helped pave the way a lot with that. And the senior people of the club in Fags and Swanee and David Noble at the time, and obviously now it's Danny Daly, but had a great, I guess, a vision in their mind what they thought we could get to. And it probably seemed so far away back then, but we've worked really hard and got a lot of good people in along the way, and it's so close now, which is just so exciting.
Cam, is it just maturity? Is it something you've done with game style? Because the last 4 years you guys have been a contender. Now you get over that hump and you have a crack at a premiership. What do you put it down to? Is it just the group coming through together, or have you adjusted the way you guys play?
I think it's the group playing together. I feel like we've been a real, stable squad for the last 3 or 4 years, where players have played a lot of footy together and you get to know each other's tendencies and things like that. But I don't think there's anything that can replace the lessons and experiences that we've had over the last couple of years. And I guess the best thing about this football club is every time we've had a little bit of a setback, we've been able to address it the next year and come back and try and fix that up. So it's worked, and the exciting thing now is getting to the grand final. Hopefully we don't fall at that hurdle and have to come back next year, and hopefully we can get it done this year.
Cam, part of those setbacks to which you refer, if you go back to this corresponding day last year, you just had lost a prelim final, and your coach was in the news for all the wrong reasons relating to the Hawthorn racism scandal, stood himself down and with an unknown future. Can you just take us through just some of your emotions on that day last year, and as you worked through that as a footy club, how it managed to arguably pull you even closer together?
Yeah, I guess the hardest thing about losing a prelim is that, the two teams that play the next week, you got that feeling in your guts that you still think you're good enough to beat them, and you just don't get a chance. So obviously we've lost 3 prelims in the last 4 years, I think. So we've learned that lesson. And obviously the stuff with Fags, I've got to take my hats off to Fags. He did the best thing by the group, and he left most of that stuff by himself individually and let us work our way through it as a team. And every time he came into the club, he was always positive and always spoke to us and was really open with us, which was really good. And I think a lot of boys appreciated that. We're very lucky to have him. And, now that all that's cleared up, he's been able to come back in and just continue to share his knowledge. And he's an excellent coach, and we love playing for him. So it's been such a great year this year, and I think it'd be quite rewarding for him to get a grand final cup as well.
Cam, we now look at you and say you're built for the big stage, you're powerful, you're explosive, you're dynamic, everything you'd hoped to be and the Brisbane would have hoped you were going to be. Talk us through what you had to learn to come in as the #1 draft pick. Probably still a long way off it at that stage, as most draftees are, but the lessons you've learnt from then to where you've got to now.
Yeah, I guess it's all the lessons that every 18-year-old comes into the AFL trying to learn, and I think the hardest thing to get as a young player is probably consistency, and I think that this year's probably been my best with that. But I've had a lot of great role models along the way. We touched on Hodgie before, but I know someone that's probably not as popular in the media in Zork. He's been a great role model for me. That his competitiveness and his ability to push things aside and just really get down to the hard work and work through that. It's been great. And then you go to Lachie Neale, and I guess when you're surrounded by blokes like this at the football club, it's pretty hard not to improve. So being able to take leaves out of their book and try and implement it into my game has been something I feel like really works. And obviously being in each other's pocket every day for most days of the year, you can take a lot from them. So putting that into my football and getting that confidence back after coming back after a year off, and just really trusting myself and trusting my body that I can produce what I know I can.
Well, good on you, Cam. Good luck, mate. You've been sensational all this year. As I said, you've had to get through the ups and downs of football at a young age, at 23 years of age, mate. We wish you all the best for the grand final. And mate, we know you've played great football at the MCG as a junior. We wish you all the best for the weekend, mate. And thank you very much for joining us on Footy Classified.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Cam Rayner, one of the stars of the AFL, getting set for his first AFL grand final.